All right,
two.
So clip the last 30 seconds.
One.
Uh-oh. Oh!
There it is.
Yes!
There it is.
We are there, baby. 1 million free.
What? That flipping screen. There we go. Well, here we are, folks. 1 million subscribers, and we're still just as amateur as we always have been by forgetting to set up the live stream properly. Welcome to the vidIQ Tuesday channel audit live stream, newly minted 1 million subscribers. I'm not going to go over this throughout the entirety of a live stream. Maybe we can do that in a future live stream, but I will say for today, and you can see in the balloons behind, thank you everybody for helping us on this momentous journey. We are so very thankful. But the reason we have done this, the reason we have reached this milestone is to educate you on your YouTube journey and to hopefully emulate some of what we have done here and perhaps go beyond vidIQ and I guess the educators and the auditors on this channel and on this live stream. And so that's why we are all here today. We're going to invite you into our forum, our classroom, our lecture theatre, and we will share our knowledge, our experience, our wisdom that will hopefully help you get more views, get more subscribers, reach the goals that you want to meet, monetize your channel, turn it into a business empire, and be the next YouTube star. And perhaps it all starts here with myself, Rob Wilson, and my Lieutenant Dan. Hello, welcome back to the channel audit live streams. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I am 1 million fantastics right now. I'm so good. I'm so good. Also joining me was a very fellow who helped me take that final step over 1 million subscribers at 4:45 a.m. on Saturday morning. Welcome back, Viper.
Woo!
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, people? I promise you all, we will not be bougie today. We will actually answer your YouTube questions and audits and all that good stuff.
And last but not least, we are welcoming back one of our regular guests here. He is known as the Instagram. I'm trying to think of a word that's going to be alliteratively nice. Instagram sensation. That doesn't really rhyme. It's Ben Levitz. How you doing, Ben? Welcome back.
I'm great. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be here for this special day too. This is awesome.
Thank you very much, Ben.
All right, can we like take a moment to like appreciate this man's level of bokeh he had going on in his background? Like, what, bro? Dang,
Yeah,
that's what's up. That's hot.
Appreciate you.
The focus, the defocus is real.
Real.
Let's say hello to some of our amazing audience here who are joining us for the live stream. I'm going to say hello to Chrono Network. I'm also going to say hello to the free count. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. It's all over. We got a new Intercontinental champion here. I'm also going to say hello to Lou Gamers YT. We've got the New England journalist in the house. How is your chair today, Barry? Is it as vulgar and foul-mouthed as it was when we had him on the show last time? Do let us know. I'm also going to say hello to Olaf Luin. That's how I'm going to pronounce your surname. I hope it's somewhere near right. And finally, Vald Gunn. Hello to you. Dan, who are you saying hello to?
Luke Animations. Hello to you. Famous doll with extra letters throughout. Hello to you. Let's see. We have Tutorials Mag. Hello, welcome back. I see Calvin is here. I see Smooth M is here. Glitch Eater and Zeno the Bolt. Hello.
And it's over to Viper. Who are you saying hello to?
All right, let's see. We got Pico Productions. What's happening, man? How you doing? We got Zeno the Bolt. Hello, how you doing? Zero Stage is here. Hello, how you doing? What's going on with you? Fit Smart is out there. What's up, Fit Smart? How you doing? Who else we got? We got Winco Ted. How you doing, Ted? Long time no see. And Nintendo Let's Play. What's happening? How you doing?
I love the fact now that all of the regulars seem to have admin access to StreamYard so they can just do whatever they want, which is brilliant. Awesome. Ben, I know you don't have any access to the stream. Do you have a chat up, or shall I just put some people on screen for you to say hello to?
Yeah, just throw them up there, guys. I was trying to find them myself, and it wasn't working.
All right, then.
Hello, Zeno the Bolt. How are you? Hope you're doing great. Redwood. I'm not even going to attempt the second part. Hello.
Just hello to Redwood there.
Hamza Night Flash. How are you? Welcome to the
last
stream.
but not least,
the Purple Ninja. That's a great way to wrap it up. Hello, the Purple
all
Ninja.
right,
How you
then.
doing?
Hello to all of you. If you are regulars here on this live stream, then do say hello in the chat and welcome all of our brand new visitors to this live stream. Do let us know in the chat as well if you are new. What I'm going to do now is show you exactly how this live stream is going to work for the next couple of hours in the space of 60 seconds. Welcome to the vidIQ channel audit live stream where we review your YouTube channels. There are 2 links in the description, one for gaming channels, one for non-gaming channels. Make sure you submit every week as we clear the form after every live stream. Channel audits are 100% free, so please don't send us any super chats expecting to receive an audit. And don't waste your time asking for one in the chat. If there are any alternative ways to get picked for an audit, such as memes, we will let you know during the live stream. If we can't audit your channel today, vidIQ has a channel audit tool working 24/7 for you. If you haven't already installed vidIQ, download it now for free. A link is in the description, and make sure to take advantage of our free 30-day trial. If you submit your channel for audit, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, our experience, and our passion as fellow YouTube creators. It's up to you whether or not you take our advice. There are tons of links to lots of useful resources in the video description. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Share this live stream with another fellow creator who may find it useful. And finally, moderators, thank you for everything that you do every single week. All right, let's do this. Final bits of housekeeping as usual. We, every single week, continue to support the COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund with any super chats. So they will not go to us. They will go to that cause. Thank you very much in advance if you decide to donate. As always, we get hundreds of channel submissions every single week. So if you are not picked, then here's my suggestion. Load up your channel on a second screen if you can. Look at the live stream as we're talking through channel fundamentals such as focus, thumbnails, titles, consistency, and see how you can apply those fundamentals to your channel. And we aren't just a channel audit service 2 hours a week. I'm talking very slowly so I can get my right screen in there. We are also a suite of amazing tools that are going to help you grow your channel. One of those is to celebrate your success once you reach milestones. So you see all of these options down the left-hand side here, such as daily ideas, keyword inspector, etc., etc. The one at the bottom down here is achievements, and this will track all of your milestones as you grow your channel. For example, we of course have hit 1 million subscribers very, very recently. And if we wanted to, we could milk this even more by printing out a certificate and sharing it on socials. Of course, we're going to be getting a gold play button in the future, so we may not need to do it for 1 million subscribers, but we've done it for 900,000, 800,000, and all of those other slightly smaller milestones that we wanted to celebrate. But it's also showing us how many views we've got, likes, uploads. It's telling us when we're going to reach our next milestone, which is an incredible 80 million views, which, personally speaking, are far more important than 1 million subscribers. And this is completely free as part of the vidIQ tools. So if you want to download it, there is a link in the description. But on top of the free tools, we have many paid features such as daily ideas, keyword research, and so on. And we have a very special offer going on to celebrate 1 million subscribers. And that is 40% off 3 months of vidIQ Boost if you are a new customer. There is a link in the video description if you want to take advantage of that right now. But if you just want a 30-day free trial of vidIQ, we also have that link in the description as well. So do make sure to check all of them out. And with all of the pleasantries done and dusted,
Hey,
Ben,
Rob.
Viper, Dan, are you ready to go? Yes, Viper.
Rob, so I got to
Yes.
ask you. So
Yes.
leading up to 1 million, you did print out the achievement for like 800, 900,000, and you laminated it. Are you going to do the same thing for 1 million, or are you just going to let the gold play button do your talking?
I mean, I could do like a bigger canvas print or something. It wouldn't just be like a dollar store framed one. I'd have to get something a little bit bigger, I think.
There you go.
And if I expense it, hell, it could be one of those metal sheet ones, which is like 40 inches by 40 inches. We'll see what budget I can get for that. It is possible. It is possible.
All right.
Thanks for reminding me. And of course, everyone can do that with their achievements as well. Right, shall we do some audits?
We should.
Okay.
All right, thanks for the enthusiasm there. There was a worrying silence for a second. We're going to audit the first channel that submitted this week. And I think I'm going to let Viper lead with this one. Then, because Ben, you are already a very experienced auditor on this live stream, I'll throw it over to you. And then Dan and I will chime in if we want to. The channel we are looking at here to start off is Vlad Vexler, 1,000 subscribers. First impressions, Viper, what are you seeing here?
This is intriguing. So weekly videos on how to make sense of the fragmentation of our age. Holy Lord. Wow. That is some deep stuff, my dude. My goodness. All right.
Now, can you tell what I threw it to you? Because I'm just a simple person. I play video games and look at bright, colorful thumbnails. I don't know how to approach this channel. So I'm leaving it to such an esteemed, intelligent man as yourself, Viper, to tackle this.
I mean, I like that the channel objective is laid out on the banner, so that's pretty awesome. Although looking at the thumbnails, I mean, just looking at them in totality, I don't really get a good sense of what the channel is about. So there might be something to that. Although when I look at the title, yeah, wait a minute, here's how you're losing. Okay, yeah, okay. There's a lot going on here, and I'm not sure of how it all ties together. Fragmentation of age is in the banner, but in the videos, you're talking about losing trust in democracy. We're talking about this Dimitri dude and his Nobel Prize. Yeah, this all of the videos seem off compared to what the actual objective of the channel is. So I don't know what the creator is trying to go for here, but my first advice would be to get focused on what it is that the channel is about. Because from what you're talking about in the banner and from what I'm seeing on the actual videos, there's a disconnect. So that'll probably be my first bit of advice.
Let's take Ben's opinion on this one.
Can you scroll up so I can read the tagline again?
Yes.
Thank you. Weekly videos on how to make sense of the fragmentation of our age. Okay, that's what I thought it said. So I think one thing that Vlad could really take advantage of is leveraging the recognizable figures that would align with the stories that he's trying to tell. I think if he's speaking on a particular issue, if there's a first face that comes to mind when people think of that topic or that field within what he would deem fragmentation of our age, definitely highlight them in the thumbnail and leverage that to leverage the existing attention that they already have, and then build it around that. And then obviously through the presentation style of your videos, they're going to learn to like you and the content that you're covering. But I would leverage familiar faces and topics that people like this would know.
So you think less of himself perhaps as the hero, the protagonist of the thumbnails, and more focusing, I guess, on the philosophers or the advocates for this topic. When I looked at the channel a little bit, I saw this name that popped up a couple of times, Jordan Peterson. And I think, although to me it looks a bit like Dennis Hopper. I don't know if anybody agrees with this. This chap here, he seems to get a higher number of views, maybe because of the association with Jordan Peterson. And maybe, I don't know if this is maybe one of the topics, philosophies, carefree wandering. I noticed that was a keyword that was performing well as well. But I think what we're saying here, Ben, is less of him, just because maybe from the view counts themselves, he doesn't seem himself yet to be generating the traffic that perhaps he would like, and more of the heroes of this. I'm just going to say topic. I don't want to call it a philosophy because I'm not really sure if I'm in the right ballpark there.
Yeah, that's a great way to summarize it. I just think that, especially as a smaller channel to try to break through, we really want to speak to the people that care about these subjects, and usually they care about the subjects because of the people that they care about that are associated with it.
Dan, you've had time to a lot of time to digest this channel. Is there anything that's maybe jumping out to you here?
Just to Ben's point, when the creator does focus on like a recognizable name or something like that, or the title is something we can all kind of understand just by looking at it, like the views seem to do pretty well. I think with the tagline is like hung me on this whole, like I've been really hung up on it this whole time because I don't know what they mean by fragmentation of our age. And then the video content itself, a lot of the videos make sense to me, that they're about democracy or COVID or whatever. I'm seeing all of that. I don't know how that has anything to do with the tagline at all. It's just really throwing me off.
I think we have to be careful here because let's be honest, this channel probably naturally doesn't appeal to all of us and probably doesn't appeal to 95% of the YouTube audience, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. That could be a very powerful thing if it's really hitting the heart of those 5% of viewers who understand what the fragmentation of our age means. But
yes, that's why
does anyone? I guess that's a big question.
That's why I was hung up on it, because at first I thought maybe they're going for a very specific audience, but when I saw some of the topics that were doing well on the channel, those appealed, I would say, to a broader audience. And so I think maybe it's time to update that, is I guess what I'm getting at. Because I think two things. They should look at the videos that have done well and learn from those. And then I think changing that tagline will help the creator get a better understanding for themselves on who it is they're trying to target with this content.
I'm just doing a quick search on the titles here. Again, Jordan Peterson, 1,000 views, 800 views, and 800 views there, which all seem fairly healthy for a channel of your size. And then also I saw Carefree is another title tagline, which whenever you used it, it felt as if the videos popped a little bit, but now I can't find where they were. 2,000 views, 800 views, 900 views, 1,500 views, all seem at the higher end. Now, I don't want to say just cover that topic all of the time, but what you've already done is you've kind of compared it between other debates, conversations, wokeism debate versus carefree. So that allows you to branch out into other topics. So I think there's some strength there as well. But this is quite an intellectual channel, I feel, and one where we're trying to break it down to its constituent parts, which seem to be the value proposition is maybe a little impenetrable. Maybe it needs to be more accessible. The thumbnails maybe need to focus more on the heroes of the topics that you're talking about. And is the host of a channel really the hero yet? Those would be my summaries. Unless anybody else wants to add any more thoughts, we'll move on to the next one. we will move on to the next one. So that is how we're going to audit your channels today. If you find these channel audits useful, do make sure to give us a thumbs up in this live stream and also share it with like-minded creators who may find this type of advice useful. And the next channel that's going to find this useful is the weekly wrap-up. It's our first gaming channel submission of the week. And Dan, we'll start with you. I'm looking at the channel that looks to be a news channel about video games.
Yeah, I like what they got going on. I'm getting a lot of Nintendo vibes based on the artwork that they've chosen to use.
From that definitely. The official Nintendo seal. I remember them from the 1980s.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So the channel's definitely themed. Let's scroll down a little bit. Let's kind of see what they're up to. I think I have a question for Viper. Is Forza on the Switch? I don't think it is.
Forza is not on the Switch.
Okay, Spider-Man's not either. So they are covering a very broad spectrum of gaming news here, despite what the banner kind of shows us.
Do you see any Switch stuff here, actually? Or Nintendo stuff?
Well, Grand Theft Auto's trilogy is, I think, going to be on the Switch, but I think it's going to be in a lot of places, so
yeah,
not necessarily exclusive. I see a GameCube thing down there.
Oh, a little bit there as well. But, I mean, you switch amongst many other things. You're talking like maybe 20-30% of the content.
Yeah, it looks like they're covering console gaming news, which is with 1.4K subscribers, they're doing something right. It's a pretty broad approach. Like, can we search by most popular?
Yep.
All right. So they did a live stream that did very, very well. It looked like they probably were maybe reacting to that PlayStation event. Their PlayStation stuff did great years ago. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking at everything, trying to make sure. Yeah, so it looks like when PlayStation was doing a lot, in that moment, this channel was doing great. Like, they were covering all the different updates that were coming out. And that has to be what?
I was just going to say, it also seems to be PlayStation 5 hardware stuff that was performing well over a year ago.
I'm going to say
what I would say.
Go ahead, Rob.
What I would say is there's a channel called Auditing,
yep,
who is really focused on the area and has been able to build quite a sizable channel through that type of content. And because really this channel hasn't stuck to this focus, I think this is where we're seeing perhaps a lack of consistency in views. Sorry, Viper, I know you want to add something there. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we need to be careful about the PlayStation view, because obviously last year when the new consoles were coming out, so obviously the views are going to be elevated.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we need to maybe look at content maybe that's maybe 3, 4, 5 months years old and not last year, because those views from last year are going to be inflated.
But they didn't follow on with the consistency. They had something there, and that's why I was saying check out Auditing, who had similar success with the release of the PlayStation 5, but has continued to bring that forward with his stuff. But I think we're getting a bit too deep into the weeds here.
Yeah, I think when you think about Auditing's channel and the fact that it does cover a lot of PlayStation hardware, there is one thing that the entire audience of that channel has in common. They're interested in PlayStation. So it doesn't matter what kind of games they like, even though it's technically a gaming channel, they all have an interest in that one common thing. And this channel was seeing that kind of success on their own, right? They were covering PlayStation over and over again. And at the time, there was a lot of news. So it was really easy to cover. So this is, if you look at this channel, this is kind of how Auditing gets around this. He always still talking about hardware and software updates, but things that PlayStation fans, regardless of the games they like, can benefit from.
Yeah.
Which makes it a very strong channel, very strong niche. I'm not saying that's what you need to do. I'm saying that you got to find that thing that kind of ties everybody together if you don't want your views to be kind of spiky. Because you got some views on the Grand Theft Auto trilogy video you did a while back, but 3 weeks ago. It looks like your latest video from 6 days ago got some decent views as well. Maybe there's a common thread there with people who like to play games with cars in them, so maybe when you cover news, you're specifically looking in racing and things like that. But narrowing
good observation with Gran Turismo here as well, it's got a couple of thousands of views as well.
I know that when you want to be a news channel, sorry,
I said good spot on a racing slant on some of these.
Yeah, I when you want to be a news channel, you do want to cover the news. You want to cover it all. But it's good to start as you're growing start on one thing, like attract an audience, build up some credibility in that space, and later on test branching out a little bit. That could be one strategy you think about. Thumbnails.
I guess,
Should we talk about thumbnails?
Dan, you go to town on thumbnail.
You were about to say something, so I didn't want to. Sorry.
I guess what I was going to say is, if you feels as if this channel at some point wants to be a news channel, I'm not getting that super strong vibe, but at the same time, if you turn into a gaming news channel, then you're starting to compete against GameSpot, IGN, the big channels. How are you going to differentiate yourself? This channel seems to have turned into something that's asking the questions about games that are going to be released soon. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So yeah, where were we? Thumbnails.
The strongest channels who do that kind of content, who talk about, speculate on like things that are coming soon, they always tend to focus on a game or a franchise or, like I said earlier, a genre. So even in that sense, if they're not covering news necessarily anymore, it's time to kind of find that genre that all of these folks will gravitate towards and build up that way. And you must have one yourself that you prefer over others. And I would lean into that. Thumbnail wise, I was just going to say, maybe we go around the table and see what we think. I think that sometimes they feel great. Sometimes they feel a bit busy. Sometimes there's way too much text, like the Metal Gear one is what I'm looking at. The logo accounts for more than half the text on the thumbnail. And I don't think it was really needed. And then remake confirmed is a very interesting bit to put in there, but it's a lot of these thumbnails are kind of dominated by text.
I would say there's a lack of consistency. I feel as if each one is from a different channel. But they're generally okay. There's currently like a 4 or 5 out of 10. And when I say that, I don't mean that to be very disparaging. vidIQs are like 6 or 7 out of 10. Mr. Beasts are 10 out of 10. So it's just on the grand scale of thumbnail design. What do you reckon, Ben? Any thumbnail thoughts?
Yeah, I just think they'd be doing themselves a huge favor in that clarity of focus from content. And then also they can work on what works for that specific audience in terms of a thumbnail style, and then develop that sort of uniformity moving forward.
Definitely.
I guess there's a bit of evidence here that when you use less text, like this one, for example, no text whatsoever, it's just the game art and then perhaps lead designer or like one of the main developers, that one performed really well. And then this one with less text as well performed pretty well. And so that is the weekly wrap up. We'll move on to the next channel now, and I'm trying to find the one that you sent us in, Ben. I think was this one. It is the Grunt Cave. New uploads every Thursday. We'll let you lead on this one.
Yeah, so to me, it looks like a DIY and tools type channel. So I think that could be better communicated in the banner, because Grunt Cave doesn't scream that necessarily to me. So I think speaking to who you're trying to help and what you're trying to help them achieve, so like the transformation, if you could put that into a clear, concise tagline, I think that'd be beneficial. And then for the thumbnails too, I think there's definitely opportunity to improve there. Like, for example, the first one, that for me, that blue on the red is very difficult to see. And I know if that was, especially if I was looking on mobile, I think that would be difficult to choose. And especially like it looks like he's going for a versus kind of thing, and that doesn't really come through visually to me unless I really analyze it, which you can't expect a person who doesn't know you to inspect that much time on making that decision. So I think just being cognizant of the fact that we only have a second here to really speak and deliver that message. That was one thing. Beyond that, the consistency, it looks like they're doing at least a video per week, which is awesome. But I would like to see exploring like different kinds of content within this niche to see if there's more opportunities for whether it's the tools specifically or the tutorials, seeing what works better. So I'd love to see a mix of those things.
Just as I'm scrolling through the thumbnails a little bit, it seems as if the focus of this channel, or where they've been most successful, is reviewing what looks to be these particular brands of drills and tools. This Ryobi, apologies if I pronounced that incorrectly. And I think this could be their superpower. They could not, maybe spokesperson is the wrong term, because you don't necessarily want to be just a sales funnel for the products, unless you have some affiliate links and you wanted to build up that part of your business. But yeah, I think there's a definite leaning towards one type of tool. And yeah, it's just a case of how do you improve these thumbnails a little bit. I think the hero shots of the products are very solid, but how do you make them a little bit more exciting? And we can see that the creator is experimenting a little bit with new colors.
For sure.
As you say, Ben, they haven't quite got the visual storytelling right just yet, where to get that instant recognition of what the video is about in the first second to 2 seconds of somebody seeing the content. Having said that, 40 subscribers, view counts are always very, very positive, especially the shorts.
Yeah, it's a very new channel too. I think it's only 3 or 4 months they've been posting content.
Well, a lot of content as well there as well, which is pretty good. Dan Viper, anything you're spotting here?
I think we're trying to put too much in some of these thumbnails. Like the 2 drills side by side and the text, which one? I would have taken the drills by themselves, so you've 2 side by side, but get rid of this red border that's around it, you know, or there's red borders in a lot of thumbnails, but get rid of the text that's kind of shrinking the image. Get those drills as big as you can, line down the middle with, like, you know, maybe some arrows or something like some kind of symbols there to just like little tweaks like that can improve the thumbnail a lot. Here we go.
Just going on a little I guess research, see if there's any thumbnails that jump out.
Yeah, like the verses right there. That thumbnail could be better, but the idea, I like the idea, like the 2 drills head to head.
That looks extremely dangerous.
It does.
I don't know if I want to do that, but yeah, to me, though, it looks as if all of these thumbnails are average to good at best. Feels like if somebody really learned how to create thumbnails that really pop in this area, they could significantly increase their click-through rate.
Absolutely. There looks like there's a lot of room in this category.
So that is the Grunt Cave. Good luck on the channel, by the way. It feels as if you should be performing better than you are with your 40 subscribers, but a tiny amount of views already. Look, 10,000 views there in the last few months. Let's move on to the next channel we are going to look at, and it is that Disney Fit couple. Viper, I think this was your pre-selected channel. Tell us why.
As soon as I thought that title, that channel, I'm like, what is going on? Like, what does that even mean? What does Disney Fit mean? So, I mean, I guess people that like to go to Disney. I mean, the banner doesn't really tell me much other than they like Disney World or Disneyland, whichever one that is. I don't know. But looking at the thumbnails, okay, yeah, wow, whoa, okay, all right. So yeah, this is a chance for me to go on my thumbnail diatribe as I usually do around here on these channel audit streams. But people, I need you to listen to your boy Viper very closely. Too much text in the thumbnail is a no-no. There is way too much text in a lot of these thumbnails. The problem with putting too much text in the thumbnails is that, as I tell you guys all the time, over 70% of people who are watching YouTube are watching from a mobile device, which means the thumbnails that you see here are vastly on a smaller scale when they're looking at them on a cell phone or a mobile device. Yeah, it looks a little bit like that. Tell me how much of that can you read? You're not reading none of that. So you got to be careful about how much text you put on the thumbnail. I'm a proponent 3 words or less. If you're going to put text on the thumbnail, 3 words or less, the text goes into the title. That's what the whole title is for. If you're going to put text out there, put all your relevant text in the actual title, juice it up a little bit, but try to keep the thumbnails as text-free as possible. And if you do have to put text in your thumbnail, make sure you are being aware of what colors you're using, because if you're putting white text against a white background or a light background, we can't read that. It's not going to work. So you got to be aware of the color science that you're using when you're creating your thumbnails as well. But let me slow down before I could be here all day doing this.
Just going to the beginning of the channel, it looks as if they maybe have evolved from what might be called like a couples challenge channel. It looks to be like food and makeup challenges to begin with, then a bit of fitness stuff, and now it's evolved into a Disney's couple channel. You can see how the thumbnails have evolved as well, in that they all used to be very flat with text that you couldn't read at all. So they are making improvements there, Viper, but I agree with you, there's still work to be done, especially this concept of slicing off half of a thumbnail.
Yeah.
Just like a gradient color. When with Disney, you should be able to really get those thumbnails to pop with characters and colors and whatnot.
Yep.
But I think they are cognizant of this and they're working to improve.
I do really like watching channels like this because I don't have unlimited access to Disney parks, right? So it's fun to watch people go and just experience whatever's new. You know what I mean? And as you're planning your trip, people actually like to watch these channels to figure out, that one channel I watched, they went to Epcot and tried this thing, and I really wanted to try that because it looked good. And to that point, and to the point of thumbnails, when you're doing stuff like that, like I see one in the middle here, dining experience animations or animators. Anyway, when you're out trying something new, I see one of you holding a drink. Like that should be the entire image. It should be you, it should be drink, and that's it, zoomed in nice and big. If you're trying a handheld food item, it should be right in the face of the person about to take a bite of this big burger or whatever it is. Like there was one about a droid, and the little droid looked really interesting, but you put yourselves in the background taking it like framed head to toe, and then the droid's like right here in the front, in the foreground, but this big. And the video's about this little droid that you can get. You know what I mean? But it took me forever to kind of figure that out just by looking at the thumbnail at the size. So I think this channel, if they just fix that, if they just get their thumbnails right, like Droid Depot, there it is. If they just get these thumbnails right, like I think they could really blow up. And their views are great considering.
Yeah.
So
I noticed that.
This is a tweak we're talking about, really.
Mm-hmm. I think what we should give the channel credit for is that they've now decided on their target audience, which is I would say their target audiences themselves. It's couples maybe married, 20s to 30s, maybe no kids yet. They may be earning $50,000 to $100,000 a year, so they've got a bit of disposable income. They are mad Disney fans. They want to go on a Disney cruise, and so I think they're hitting that target audience, which is brilliant. It's just the execution of that pitch that isn't quite there yet, isn't it, with the thumbnails?
Yeah.
Wow, Rob with the psychographic. Woo.
Well, I learned from Leron, of course, on Saturday. He's a serial psychographer. Ben, any thoughts from you, or are we good to move on to the next channel?
Yeah, I'd love to throw in, just because Disney itself is such an experiential company where people are so attached to it because of the experience and the things that they feel through consuming their content and doing everything that represents. I think really focusing on that and really focusing on what the person would want to experience or what that experience may be like. Really obsessing over why do they care and what are you going to tell them and why does that improve their ability to do the things they love, which is obviously Disney stuff. I think obsessing over the experience will help them out a ton, and also doing that in clarity. Like the one that you mentioned with the drone or the droid, sorry, I would want to flip the ratio of how they use perspective in terms of making the droid the focal point and then maybe them smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can find like the perfect thumbnail that they could maybe pick for the Droid Depot. See, again, they're not
not
brilliant, a lot. These. I think that's obviously a good one there. These are all very, very busy.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Well, it's gone now, but
maybe that one. I kind of like that.
I like that one and the one above it too. Just the idea that like this is what you can build or see, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I've not been myself, but you look at the space, and I recognize some of these channels. It just feels like there is, you're already here asking us how can we do it better, how can we improve. If you get this right, if you get your thumbnails right, it just looks like there's a lot. One of my favorite channels, we looked at it not that long ago. The thumbnails are not great. You know what I mean? Like it just, I feel like that's just something that's lacking in this space.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that is the Disney Fit Couple. Folks, yes, we did hit 1 million subscribers this week, and we decided to run our Meme of the Week competition via the medium of this image. You saw some already in the Memes of the Week, but there was only going to be one winner of this competition this week, and that had to be me being rickrolled with some very disturbing eyes. So Dominic Gaming Anderson, you are a genius. This is the best picture. You get your channel audited, and your channel looks like this. Dominic Gaming Anderson, the mad filmmaker. So is it about gaming or is it about films? I don't know. from a channel.
I like that as a tagline, but for a gaming channel, it doesn't fit too well, I would say.
Now then, I'm looking at shorts and plenty of them.
Mm-hmm. So we need to talk about the shorts viewing experience. Some of these are doing pretty well, considering. Yeah. But there's a couple things. So gaming, I get it. Like when you play a game, it's 16:9. It's widescreen. So it's when you want full context, when you want to see everything, making a short, it's kind of difficult, right? And sometimes your video editor can fight you on this too. But as with anything on YouTube, there's going to be little investments you need to make. I would invest in a video editor that has the capability of making easily cropping a video like this, because look how tiny this is.
Yeah.
And it's not going to look much better on a phone, I have to say, because I have all this screen to work with on a phone, and you're giving me this tiny bit in the center. And
it looks like for these videos that most of the action is in the middle third anyway, from these.
Yeah. So you can easily, all this stuff could be cropped. So you could have zoomed in, literally taken the image and just cropped it in, and it would have looked 10 times better. And I think your shorts would go a lot farther if you make just that one simple change, if you crop these in. Now, if you don't want to, if you feel like you're going to miss too much context, YouTube does let you make square shorts. So that does give you a little bit more room to play with in the gaming space.
I'm trying to draw on screen to show you what type of crop we will be looking at here. So we're thinking down, like you could probably crop that bit so that it stretches out to cover sort of that area.
Yeah, if you were to do a square, your black bars would be a lot smaller. The viewing experience would be a lot better. And when people stick around and watch your shorts, that's just one indicator to YouTube that, hey, people really like to watch the short all the way through, or sometimes they watch it twice or whatever. I'd also stop putting the subscribe in there. Again, it makes it look like you deliberately made that video small just so you can make sure it was easy to read the subscribe. And then what's your channel about? Is it about this cool cinematic gaming content you make, or is it about this person who just wants subscribers on their Grand Theft Auto channel?
This currently looks like a channel that's inserting, you sometimes see this where in wrestling, they have these oh my God moments, and they take the commentary and then stick them in games. It's hilarious a lot of the time. And it looks as if that's what they're focusing on. So they're kind of building a very targeted audience within a Grand Theft Auto niche. You could probably almost do endless videos on this topic, which I don't think is a bad idea. I think they're starting to get thousands of views. I mean, look when you were just all over the place. I mean, this is such a good example. Like 40 views, 11 views, 13 views. Yeah. Just looking at these random thumbnails. I haven't got a clue what the channel's about. Boom! I'm going to do Grand Theft Auto wrestling niche-y stuff. And now we're getting 400 views, 6,000 views. All right, some of them aren't doing well, but I think you're starting to find your place in the shorts area. I mean, what I would be tempted to do here, just as an experiment, instead of doing montages, I would just do one clip, which is 10 seconds long, because I think that's what's going to work better on shorts. I think you're going to get like audience retention of maybe 150% as they just watch it once or twice. Yeah. Other thoughts, gentlemen?
Yeah, I was going to say largely the same thing of framing it around one moment. It makes it easier on the creator to really create a very compelling, easy to consume package, which is great for shorts. I think that making those visual adjustments will just amplify that further.
I've been experimenting with 10-second widescreen videos. They're not on the short shelf.
Oh, wow.
They do fantastic. YouTube, if you've ever heard a rumor about YouTube getting mad at you and not pushing your videos as far because they're too short, that's BS. It's that whatever that was, it's no longer a thing. So you can, I'm glad you spotted that because I wasn't really paying attention to what was going on the screen. All of these little montage clips, those are all individual shorts for you. It's a great spot.
It could be like each one of these is like 50 to a minute. So you're really trying to push the maximum length of shorts. Imagine if you could turn each one of these into like, I'm guessing there's 3 or 4 clips in each. You could then release one of these clips a day. You've got like a month's worth of content. Maybe you could even release 2 or 3, because another thing about shorts is you don't need to worry about it allowing the short to breathe. Just upload as many as you can. Maybe not all at the same time, but if you're going to upload 3 or 4 shorts in a day, you have permission to do that, because shorts don't necessarily rely on them being shared around homepages and stuff. It's more how YouTube stacks up your shorts when people are viewing them.
Yep.
So there's some real potential here.
So yeah, the homework here I think would be find a video editing software that lets you crop in if you don't have one already, and make that investment. And then shorter shorts.
Now I know we've strictly been talking here about a gaming channel that's taking wrestling commentary into Grand Theft Auto, but I feel as if there's a ton of fundamentals that we've just covered there for the short form area. So if you are a shorts creator, definitely maybe rewatch this channel, Audits. All right, next up, we're going to talk about Discord, Dan, because ...
Oh, did you learn something about Discord? Do we need to
ellipses, and then you feed into me.
Is there something specific though that you
chemistry?
Want me to...
We work together, Dan. But
okay. I was trying to create friction because that would be fun. Yes, this is our Discord. If you didn't know, vidIQ.com/Discord, you can go ahead and join, absolutely free. And it is a place for creators just like you to hang out, discuss the YouTube journey. Something I did not have when I was starting out was a whole room full of creators just like me going through all the same things I was going through, different parts of their experience, people willing to share advice. What this place isn't for is just sharing your content. We don't allow that in there, which is nice. It keeps it clean. It keeps it focused. And if you do go in there, you're going to meet a lot of people who are very, very helpful and awesome. And when they are helpful and awesome, we randomly pick them sometimes for a channel audit, like this person right here,
who is called Dean McPro. Now, if this isn't a channel about the world of professional gaming in Scotland, I'm going to be disappointed.
I immediately got excited when I saw these thumbnails.
I think I'm disappointed, but yeah, these thumbnails look delicious.
This is look at this. Something we need to figure out where this easy thing started for them, because something worked and they're like, I'm doing this forever now. Can we scroll down? Should find that?
Yeah, let's find. Let's have a look. So we started a year ago with Minecraft stuff, I assume. That's
still
the first
pretty
time
strong.
First time we used an arrow, 3,000 views. Arrows seem to work for my content. All right. Another one. 4,000 views. 12,000 views. All right. This arrow thing seems to work. Let's now shove some huge text versus next for arrow. Didn't do that well, but I think they realized that all of these ones didn't work at all, although those are shorts. Now they seem to have got into a nice pattern here, Dan.
Yeah. So all of these videos are doing a couple things. They are sticking to Minecraft, which is good, and demonstrating a lot of value to people who play Minecraft. It looks like a lot of their focus is on PvP. So think about that for a minute. It's not just a channel playing Minecraft, and it's not just a channel showing you tips and tricks. It's a channel showing you tips and tricks about how to get better at a specific thing in Minecraft. In this case, PvP, player versus player. Not easy to do, being on a server full of hundreds of people trying to kill you. So you go to this channel to learn how to get better. And
Dan,
I like that.
I love that you highlighted that. I just wish they were to have communicated that in their banner.
Mm-hmm. That would make it even more clear.
Yeah.
That would make it even more clear. But the fact that it is communicated in titles and thumbnails is good. You know what I like too is it looks like they're doing some Pocket Edition, which is mobile, Minecraft mobile, and it looks like they're trying to specifically target people who are playing Minecraft mobile and doing PvP, which I've played Minecraft mobile. The controls are not easy unless you're using a controller, which is one of their videos, in fact. And I just think that they're doing a great job. Now, if I were to tweak one thing about these thumbnails, I think it'd be the backgrounds. I would blur those even more. I think the Minecraft characters you're pointing at make it clear that it's Minecraft. I think the color palette will make it clear that it's Minecraft. It's just the arrow pointing becomes even more important because the background isn't blurred. So it is kind of hard to see what's going on sometimes, even in the more clear thumbnails.
I think, just to be very clear, Dan, so blurring out the background, but not necessarily the object that's being pointed to.
Correct. So
that's still a key part of the subject.
Yes, the subject being pointed to, you wouldn't blur that. You would just cut them out, and then you'd blur the background. And then it gives you, when you cut them out, it gives you the leeway to then play with their size. Maybe you can make them bigger, make them take up more of the frame. So keep improving your thumbnails. When it comes to Minecraft and competing in the space, the one thing we can say, looking at the amount of content they've released, it does kind of become a numbers game. Like, you need to be uploading very frequently, and if once a week is your jam, that's great. Looks like you're doing just maybe once a week, maybe sometimes a little bit more. so with every video, keep trying to make those little improvements. And can you stay focused? Can you stay focused on Minecraft PvP? Because for a channel that's only been around a year, getting these kinds of views in this community, like, you know, I think you're onto something.
Now, Viper, I have just invented the text on thumbnail Viper Richter scale, right? Okay. And so the higher the number, the more you start to rumble and get really angry. Like, oh, too much text. Whereas a 1, you're just nice and calm. Things are cool. So on the Viper text on thumbnail Richter scale, what number are you giving this channel?
Honestly, I'm giving it a 1, dude. All
right, we're solid.
Sick.
The foundations are good here. Nothing to panic, nothing to see here. This channel's doing all of the good stuff.
I'm digging it.
Let's say one thing though. Sometimes they include easy in their title. Is there any other text? I know, like, you might be afraid to leave the word easy behind, but you can use other words to express impact. So if your title's already expressing how easy something is, maybe sometimes it would help to have a number, you know, if a number's applicable. I'm trying to think of an example, like, you know, 2 hits, like 2-hit kill or something like that. Just try to make these two things work together, the title and the thumbnail. Like 2-hit kill, arrow pointing and someone slashing their sword at someone else, and then the title is how to kill somebody fast in PvP, Pocket Edition, et cetera, et cetera. You know, your titles are pretty good, but that is one thing you could think about.
So for gaming channels, we feel as if this is a good foundation channel for all types of great games to look at, be it Roblox, be it Fortnite. There is some really good stuff going on here, and it starts with these thumbnails. I think that they just tease a lot here, like very easy now, easy trick. That's luring the viewer to click on it to find out what they're missing out on if they don't learn this easy trick. Ben, I do apologize. I kind of left you on the backseat here with the gaming channel, but if you do want to chime in, now's your opportunity. I'm remembering to put you front and center with the next channel that we audit.
Yeah, no worries at all. You guys were dropping gems. I would echo basically all that you said. I think I really love the piece of highlighting the main image of the Minecraft character. I think that will be tremendously helpful. And I think that will just take what you're already doing and bring it to the next level.
Cool stuff. Just checking on the community tab. You're starting to experiment with it. There's nothing wrong there. Yeah, using it like every day. So that's good. Using voting polls. All seems solid there.
Let's talk about what they're asking though here. Have you ever played mobile on Minecraft Pocket Edition? So I do like that question in particular. It's where you're trying to gather some data that is going to help you kind of determine your content. The thing that I wouldn't recommend doing is, should I do a video community poll content? Especially not frequently, maybe once in a while, but frequently saying, should I do next? What should I do next? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's only going to reach a very specific audience, people who already know you. What you want is to make posts that could reach people who have never seen you before. So if you ask Minecraft related questions that anyone could answer, even if they've never met you before, if they've never seen a video before, that tends to help your polls and community posts, image posts, whatever they are, reach more and more people.
You could ask in the polls, like, what is the hardest? What do you find hardest on Minecraft? And because you have all of these easy solutions, you know, is it hardest to do a combo in Bedrock, or is it hardest to beat MCP PC players on mobile? And then whichever one they vote for most, you can provide the solutions potentially to that. So that is Dean MC Pro. We look forward to your new channel banner soon.
Hey, Rob.
Which, yes, may reflect your channel more.
For the people that don't follow vidIQ on Twitter, can you quickly explain to the people what you have for breakfast after we hit 1 million on Saturday morning?
So, what a segue that is. So, I said I was going to IHOP, International House of Pancakes, where I never have pancakes, but I did have, it's called the Quick 2-Egg Breakfast, which was scrambled eggs, it was sausages, and then I replaced the hash browns with potatoes and red onions, because they do them deliciously there, with toast, with Coke, because I like to drink fizzy drinks in the morning. That is my vice. That's what I had to celebrate. And then I had a dirty McDonald's later on because we were waiting for a cake to arrive. My wife got me a cake, which was awesome. we had to wait for it to arrive, so we couldn't go to the cinema as I promised her, and so I've got to do that next week.
Nice.
Did anyone find that interesting?
Yeah.
Right, where were we? What was I going to do? Right, we're going to look at the next channel, and I am going to just let Dan, Viper, and Ben talk about this channel, because I don't think it's fair for me with my very biased opinions about this particular subject, which are very, very negative. No, it isn't Zelda Breath of the Wild. It is something else, which isn't close to my heart whatsoever. So Dan, Viper, you just instruct me on what I need to do on the screen, but I'm not saying anything.
Oh, I picked this channel. What's wrong with Puku's porch? Why are you being so down on Puko?
Cats. That's all I'm saying. Cats.
Listen, I saw this channel and I like cat channels. So I was looking around, and I think for this channel, it came down to, again, titles and thumbnails mostly. Can we scroll down to like the majority of their content? So when I read the about section, it was about I think a cat, or maybe they capture this a lot. They have a Ring doorbell camera, and they get a lot of clips from this Ring doorbell camera. So I thought that was kind of interesting, but I'm looking at the titles and I'm never really getting that. So let's see. I'm trying to find the examples I saw earlier. These are shorts now, so some pretty decent views on these shorts. There were a lot of titles that referenced Amsterdam, like something about a cat in Amsterdam. And a lot of that stuff kind of felt like, yeah, like what, I don't know what Amsterdam really has to do with it, unless you were doing like some kind of, you were covering like a lot of cats live on the streets of Amsterdam or this city or whatever it is. I think, yeah, let's see, cat versus is Amsterdam. I don't really know what that means. And that's kind of what I was focused on when I picked this channel. I can let other people jump in too. I wanted to make sure I found my examples there.
Yeah, I think one thing I see from this is, well, especially in the earlier ones, is a lot of text. And I don't watch a lot of cat channels, but the few cat videos that I have watched, the imagery is what gets me. So it's either like an action or the facial expression of the cat or something that really intrigues me. Whereas with all this text going on, I think you're missing out on the cuteness that is the cat that gets people to click.
Yeah. And the thumbnails seem a little inconsistent. Sometimes they like that one. I like that one actually that you zoomed in on. Sometimes it just feels like they were made with a different template, and sometimes it feels like they took a still from the video and just threw some text on it, but with nothing really going on. So overall, I would start looking at other channels that are themed around a specific cat, for example, right? There's a lot of them out there. And see how they kind of approach it, because it really does become about that cat, and then stuff that the owner has set up for the cat. Like sometimes they'll set up obstacle courses. So you see a lot of like challenges out there that start trending in the pet community. There was one with like dogs and cats. People were using cellophane, right, plastic wrap, and they're putting it over hallways and stuff, and seeing how the pets would interact with it. So a whole bunch of channels were doing that for a while. Like, there's all kinds of trends. I would be looking at these other channels and seeing what you can do with your cat to, kind of replicate some of that.
Do you think the channel has somewhat abandoned their strongest suit, which is shorts? Because I've sorted by most popular here. And there's some views here with tens of thousands of views. Excellent. They're all shorts. The most recent stuff, still shorts here and there, but seems to be long form content.
Yeah.
We have this issue where they're going from 25 seconds, 17 seconds, 7 minutes, 30 minutes, even 4 minutes. I feel as if it's a very different way the audience is going to consume the content. Yeah.
The other thing I noticed too was that they're doing a lot of like what early gaming channels would do, right? Like they put a generic title that they use over and over again and a part number. So Amsterdam Cat Life comes up a lot. We're on part 5 now. Right. And when you do vlog content like that, you want to make it about something, even if it's not the only thing, but something that happened in the vlog. The title and the thumbnail kind of reflect a moment that was really cool. And then, like you're right, they went from shorts where it looked like the cat was playing and having fun to how to travel with your cat, like traveling tips for a nomad expat cat. And then that's the other thing too. The thumbnail doesn't really show me nomad cat. It's just a cat walking through some brush. I would have had like the owner of the cat like on a plane with the, you know what I mean? Like little cat carrier or something like that. Like make it look like you're traveling. So a lot of disconnects here. And I think title and thumbnail improvements can go a long way. Obviously, it's really easy for you to get footage of your cat doing things. So this really does come down to titles and thumbnails.
Anything else from any of us? Viper, you were more quiet than me about cats. You have a secret disdain for them as well?
No, actually, I love cats, but I don't really. I mean, I kind of echo what Dan was saying earlier. From the banner, it looked like we were going to get like a bunch of video clip from the Ring camera about this particular cat or whatever. And then, that I'm not getting that vibe from the thumbnail. Maybe that is the thing, but yeah, I'm not getting that vibe. But
yeah, maybe this channel banner and maybe the description were done a year ago, and things have changed a little bit since then.
Although I will say one thing, Rob, can we go back? Okay, so if you want to like mouse over or magnify that last thumbnail at the very right, the should secret, that's what I was just talking about earlier, when you all need to be careful about your color type because you can barely read that. I mean, you got that light green text against a light background, and it makes it difficult to read that text. So just be careful about that.
There's also
I'm feeling a 6.7 on the Viper text on thumbnail Richter scale. Jeez. That was close.
There's also a disconnect on why that particular text with that particular photo. Like whenever I think of the word secret, I think of someone putting their finger to their mouth, right? Like, shh. So these are all things like think about what you look at when you go on YouTube and you see thumbnails, and think about the ones that really draw your eye. We're looking at 3 different disconnects there. The photo not working with the text on top of it, not working with the title.
We are at the top of the hour. And when we come back, it's time for the claw.
Introducing daily ideas from vidIQ. AI designed for those that have to create. Inspired by the creators that start working when others stop. Because their inspiration doesn't care for 9 to 5. Creators that push their ideas 1 step, even 3 steps beyond the obvious, and won't ever settle for anything less. Discover AI-generated ideas made for your channel only, the creator whose brain works like nobody else's. Newly refreshed every single day, because we know how much it hurts to get caught sleeping on a trend. And there's nothing sweeter than waking up to a view count you didn't dare dream of. So we made View Prediction. See all your opportunities ranked by their potential to get you more views. When your creativity and our algorithm work together, surprising things happen. And this is just the start. The power of artificial intelligence is in your hands, and we can't wait to see what you create. Daily ideas from vidIQ. AI-powered inspiration, inspired by you.
Okay. Time out. I have questions. Dan. A couple of questions for Dan real quick. Dan, number 1, do you know who Johnny Ives is?
No.
Okay.
That's embarrassing.
Oh, man.
For who? I don't know.
Okay. Johnny Ives is a famous designer. He used to work at Apple. But your daily idea voiceover sounded like something that he would have done for Apple years ago. And I'm just like, how did you prepare for like what went into your preparation for that? Like, what did you like do anything special, or like how many takes did that take you?
That wasn't me.
Maybe that wasn't you. Of course it was
I'm
you.
kidding. It's coffee. Coffee helps warming up the throat, and it took, that was about like 10 takes because the script kept coming back with different edits and stuff. I don't know. I do have some professional training in voiceover, little bit, not a ton.
That was epic.
That explains it.
It literally is ASMR, Dan, isn't it?
Literally.
No, I don't. That wasn't the intention.
I've looped this. I go to bed on 30 loops of that advert because it's just so
weird thing to say.
Well, either way, man, well done, dude.
People like it when I'm open, transparent, and vulnerable. I've decided I'm going to embrace that.
I don't like it.
Ben, You had
Yes,
a tiny cameo in that advert, I noticed.
I was in there. Yeah, I saw that.
You were there, and you, of course, are part of the vidIQ family. So let's learn a little bit more about you. If people have not come across you before, tell us about your channel and what you do.
Yeah, for sure. So simply put, I look to help people build an audience and an income with the tools of social media. So most of my content does consist of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Help strategy advice to help you grow the audience and then grow the income that can come along with it. So that, in a nutshell, is what I try to do with every video.
88,600 and some subscribers. When do you think you're going to hit the big one?
Probably sometime early next year. Definitely going to push for it this year, but likely probably Q1 next year.
I think you will be our second partner to crossover Vault-line, and Ben and Michaela did it a couple of months ago. So yeah, we're hoping it's going to be soon. And then, hey, you could print out one of the certificates until you get the silver play button.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be printed out the very first day.
All right. I teased the claw just a little too soon because I missed one of the channels. Dan, can you remember on, I think, Friday's live stream when I went hunting for a channel because I couldn't find them because it was such an unusual channel name? Any memory there?
I kind of erased everything from that day.
Jog your memory by that. Repair your industrial sewing.
Oh,
machine.
yes, I remember.
You remember that? Yeah. So we had this person subscribe and we could not find them on the live stream, but they've submitted their channel for auditing. So let's get stuck in there. Super exciting channel. It looks to be here. I want to start with Ben here, just for your first impressions. See if you can spot immediately what I picked out here when I was looking at the channel.
I'm having trouble picking up. I have trouble seeing what they're trying to highlight in the thumbnails for me. You repair your industrial sewing machines. Yeah, obviously, I know nothing about sewing, but for me, it's a little difficult to tell what the focal point of the imagery is. That's the biggest thing that I see right away. It's just I have difficult time making out what the change is being made throughout the video.
So it's perhaps that the thumbnails, they're in a good position in that they don't have too much text, but maybe they do need some sort of highlighting or illustrating. That could be through arrows pointing at the thing that's been fixed or changed, or it could be that you're maybe almost putting like a, what would you call it? When you would dim down the brightness on a large portion of a thumbnail, but then really highlight a certain part of it.
Yeah, I think
to emphasize it.
I think that would help. But I think in general, bringing up the contrast or the sharpness of the images themselves, they seem a little bit, I don't know if the word's dull or a little bit toned down, where I think that they could be brightened up a bit.
I guess this would be a good example. Like there's clearly two things are being held, presumably parts for a sewing machine. But why are these important? Is it a particular bolt here or a screw there, or is one better than the other? Maybe a bit more illustration out, because the problem we have here is that this is a foreign language channel. I believe Spanish or Portuguese. The thing I was kind of hinting at is that sometimes I'm seeing English titles.
Yeah.
Very rarely, but once or twice, English titles, also English channel name, but then the channel banner's in another language. So it's kind of throw me off a little bit. Who's the audience here?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the audience is people who are looking to repair, buy, improve, use sewing machines. But is there a language element to this? Like, we'd have to click on one of the videos. If it's all music, then I guess it doesn't really matter what the language is. But presumably, if they are 3 minutes, 5 minutes, there's going to be a little bit of direction within the videos themselves. I'm going to play one and see what happens. That's an advert.
Oh, I was going to say.
The production values was fantastic there.
I've had YouTube Premium for so long, I was literally thrown by that.
Yeah, I think I'm in the wrong account. So I haven't got premium on this one. All right, ready to skip? All right, we've skipped. Oh, sorry, this is something I want to show as well. Watch the intro.
I think I'm about to watch a gaming channel.
Yeah.
Talk about a disconnect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little confusing.
Can you?
Okay,
Sorry,
so
we
my
can't hear
internet
it.
is rubbish as always. But so there is I think a Spanish or a Portuguese person talking as they're
Voiceover.
looking at this machine. And yeah, my internet's just not going to help me out here. So yeah, it looks like a foreign language channel to me. I was just really thrown by that title there, and maybe a couple of other titles which seem to be in English. It
could have been a test.
They
could have been testing something out. It'd be an interesting experiment though to see can you make these repairs simply with just music in the background? Would it be possible to reach that broader audience by taking yourself out of it? It'd be kind of an interesting experiment.
I would love to see what the audience retention is in the first 8 seconds as that intro is there.
Yeah.
I just wonder if like 40 to 60% of people just abandon, like, am I in the right place here? Why is there a crossbow firing at me? I thought I was here to repair a sewing machine.
Okay. So we are saying that this is a foreign language channel, but yet the channel name itself is English. How did that makes no sense to me? Like, if you're going to be a foreign language channel, then the name of the channel should also be in the foreign language. And then you got the description. Like,
well.
I don't.
Now, it could be, although I don't think channel names you can convert to language. You can, when you upload a video, you can change the title and the description to match the localized language set for the user. But I don't think that extends to channel description and channel name. I think wherever you are in the world, you will see that as the channel name. As far as I can tell, I might be wrong about this. Let me know in the chat if I am wrong.
Yeah, but switching up the languages like this makes it very confusing for a viewer. If they're coming because they expect the channel to be in one language and you are putting out videos and content in a different language, you are going to lose people faster than I can say hat. Like, we got to settle on a language. If you want to appease different languages, the best way to do that, in my opinion, is to caption your videos in whatever language you're trying to get to reach.
Or have second channels, third channels, where you're doing a full language, a full translation, which is what we do here at vidIQ. We've got a Spanish channel and a Russian channel where somebody actually voices over. Now, I think that might be perhaps a little inhibitive for some people, but maybe a little too expensive. But there are alternatives to that as well.
So one thing they could do, they could take the footage, right, and just get all the footage you need of you making the repairs to the sewing machine, and then voice it over twice, once in your native language and once in English or whatever languages you want to cover. So at least that way you're kind of upping the or taking time to, you know what I mean. Sorry, there's one more thing I want to say. I think thumbnails are the other thing this channel needs to work on. Everything you're trying to point at and show needs to be 3 times larger in all of these thumbnails. The border that you've put around all of them is inconsistent as well. It's just different colors every time. I wouldn't really put that. It's just taking away more of the image. Just get really tight in there to show exactly what it is you're trying to show. Sometimes a side-by-side. Maybe you do literally a zoomed out version of the sewing machine and then a tight shot of that component that day. So these are just some things to think about.
This is a good example of where, as much as possible, although it's not always possible, a thumbnail should be able to transcend language, whereby no matter what language I speak, I can look at the visual storytelling of a thumbnail and have some idea of what the video is going to be about. Obviously, sometimes you do need to include text in your thumbnails, but that's why some of the best thumbnail creators don't have any text in at all or very minimal text. So to summarize, just in case we're getting a little too caught up in this language barrier thing, what's thrown us here is the channel name and hints of English. Now, if you're not sort of an English targeted channel, then just change your channel name and make sure all of the titles are in your native language, because that seems to be what your target audience is. There's thumbnail things that we want to look at here, and that crossbow intro definitely needs to disappear completely. Just start the video with you filming the sewing machine. It's just not required at all. And with that being said, let's go to the claw. So here's what happens with the next hour of a live stream. Roughly, we have this form for gaming channels and non-gaming channels, and you will submit your channel for entry. We've got 267 for non-gaming, 248 for gaming channels. So I just need to adjust my count to make sure that all channels will be included. And we put the claw in the balls, and if Jeff was here, he would try and ruin the copyright for this by referencing Toy Story, but he's not here, so we don't have to do that today. And we're going to pick a gaming channel to kick us off here, I think, since we've just covered a non-gaming channel, definitely a non-gaming channel in a sewing machine channel. And so this is channel number 15. We take that number, we put it into this form, and then we take a look at this channel, and we are experiencing this for the first time, just like you. So first impression is very important. Am I in the right place when I look at Ethan Game World? And Dan, if I am a fan of Resident Evil Biohazard, I'm in the right place. But here's a big question. Is anybody playing through Resident Evil Biohazard right now? And am I going to have to go all the way back to part 1, which is a month ago, and then watch all of these videos to enjoy Resident Evil Biohazard on this channel?
Yeah. I think the days of sitting down and just playing through a game, right, in 30-minute videos, 30-minute intervals, I think those are largely behind us. I think there was a time for this content. I just don't see it anymore, like successfully. What I do see is people, like, you will get playthroughs of games, but people tend to make titles and thumbnails that, again, focus on a specific thing that happened in that video, right? So even if your 30-minute video isn't about you being, scared out of your wits because of someone jumping out of a closet or whatever, that if that was the best moment in the video, that's what you'd want to focus on, like losing my lunch because I was scared, from this thing. Make some kind of claim in the video and the title that make us go, oh wow, that sounds like a moment that I really want to see, and once you start the video, it's presumed you will eventually get to said moment. It's not clickbait if you deliver on it.
Now, there's something I feel as if I need to stress here. If you just want to play through a game and you want to record that journey on YouTube as a place to remember what you did, that's absolutely fine.
Yep.
No problem. However, we assume you submitted your channel because you want to start building an audience who wants to watch your content. And this is the thing that I think Dan and I especially really, we just feel for these creators, don't we, Dan, where this channel started 4 months ago and they've done in the region of about 50 more or less identical thumbnails and let's play part number videos.
Yeah.
And the last 2 videos have got 2 views, no views. So what they're doing right now clearly isn't working, and you've got enough evidence to suggest that now. This is where you need to start maybe rethinking how you approach content for an audience.
This is great practice. Like what this creator is doing
Absolutely.
Yeah. They're learning the whole process. By the time you start to pivot your strategy, you're going to have, learned a lot of the video making process, which is great. I would go to the latest, greatest horror game. Obviously, you like horror games. Go to your favorite one that hopefully, ideally, has people searching for it, has people excited right now. And then I want you to make a 5-minute video. However you want to approach that, but that would be your homework. If and when you're ready to pivot to this new strategy, make a 5-minute video and take that 45-minute, hour-long recording session you did, boil it down to 5 minutes, the highlights, the best parts, right? And always queue up the different clips with some context. Maybe you wouldn't just want like 5 minutes of jump scares with no context, but if you're creeping down a hallway and you're like, oh, wow, this is weird, I haven't seen anything in a while, and then something jumps out, like include that whole moment. You know what I mean? Like, tell a story. And what you want to do is watch other people and how they've edited their videos together. And then once you kind of master the 5-minute video, that might give you some license to expand into longer videos. With gaming, though, like we're seeing here, like a 12-minute video right in front of us right now. I just think unless it's a live stream, it shouldn't be longer than like 20 minutes. It's just, I feel like a 20-minute gaming video, especially from an unknown creator, is a big commitment. And then the known creators aren't even doing that for the most part.
Here's the challenge. Like Resident Evil has literally just come out on VR. I bought it last night and I'm really looking forward to playing it. And somebody's doing a Let's Play. They're on part 22. They've got 4,000 subscribers. So, you know, they have some presence on YouTube. And these Let's Plays just aren't being viewed because I guess the pitch, part 22, the throne room hall, how exciting is that?
What
Even the
happens
larger
in the
creators
throne room?
Yeah.
Like
the big creators are really trying to get into this, aren't they? And
Okay, can we go back to his channel page real quick, Rob?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're about to go to the 7 on the Viper thumbnail Richter scale here because I see an immediate problem and I want to talk about it with you guys real quick, just so you can avoid this. I've explained this on these streams before, but I'll explain it again. Your title and your thumbnail text should not match. If you have Resident Evil Biohazard in the thumbnail, why do you have it again in the title? You are wasting space. And the other thing with YouTube especially is that you want to make your titles as short as you can possibly make them. So for this creator right here, I would suggest taking the game title out of the title. Just take it out of there. Why? You have it in the thumbnail. Take it out of the title to shorten it up. And then just generally try to make your titles a little bit shorter because these long titles are going to get cut off by search results in mobile, and most people aren't going to take the time to read the entire title. So shorten your titles, and if the title and the text in the thumbnail and the title, if that matches, you need to eliminate it in somewhere. Just get it out of there.
I think let's wrap up this audit by saying, Ethan Game World, this is nothing personal at all. I think what it is we have seen this type of channel time and time again, and we just don't want you to make the same or continue to make not necessarily, I guess, the mistakes, but not try to evolve your content to start matching an audience. We don't want you to be in another 6 months' time having what your most popular videos have, you know, less than 20 views, because you're putting in a lot of time and effort. You're uploading it to YouTube, and unfortunately right now nobody's watching it. So what are you going to do to try and build up an audience that's going to start getting excited about, because you've got the channel focus, you are definitely a survival horror video game channel. How do you get people to start watching your content as opposed to all of the bigger survival horror channels that are being on, that have a presence on YouTube? And we wish you the very best of luck going forward. Okay,
Rob, I have a question for you that I just saw scroll by in the chat here, and I would love for you to talk about it. Someone in the chat just asked us, Rob, are thumbnails necessary?
What, that is the question?
That is the question.
So YouTube Shorts, I would argue that the importance of thumbnails is becoming less and less. But thumbnails themselves, I'm starting to realize this more and more and more. They are, I would say, 49% of the entire video creating process. And maybe as a smaller channel, when you don't have that presence and that cachet and that authority already on YouTube, it may even be like 51%. You know, the thumbnail is actually more important than the content, because getting people to click on your videos is one of the hardest things to do on YouTube. Getting them to stick around is almost like the second hardest thing. I don't know what the third hardest thing is. Maybe just keep doing it. I'm going to end up rambling. So I would say yes, thumbnails are very, very important, and they're probably even more important than I currently realize. And, you know, we're working hard at vidIQ to make our thumbnails better, I think, as is everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like Rob said, with the short content, when your short video go into the short shelf, the thumbnail gets stripped out. So it's not as important. But when the short video reside on your actual channel, then it's still important, because if you don't have a thumbnail for your short, then you just got the little double bar lines like you're watching a little mini movie. It's kind of crazy. So I would say even for short videos, still make a custom thumbnail, but they're not as important, because once they go to the shelf, they do get stripped away.
My general advice for thumbnails is, however long you're spending on thumbnails right now, spend twice as long on them. However complex your thumbnails are right now, make them half as complicated. Very general. That's that's what we tend to see. And this channel is probably going to be another example of this. Ben, I wanted you to lead on this one. Sorry, because we just took charge of a gaming channel there. But this one looks like it might be a tricky one to work out what it's about.
Yeah, that would be my first point, is what does it mean? So BSVB on-site biz. So is that like a business news show? I'm not totally sure. Which it looks like that, because it looks like they're speaking on recent business news, which obviously is a niche that there's an audience for. But with the example of how will Facebook changes affect your business, I would make the thumbnail far more about the topic itself, more so than just the show. Because if you just keep it in the branding of the show, you're only going to be reattracting the audience that is familiar with that. Whereas we want to expand this outwardly, and there is an audience for that kind of news. So I'd make it far more about that. And then beyond that, I think thumbnails, there's a lot of text there too, and it's very, very small. Like I can't even see that. I can't make out what they're saying. I don't have the best eyes, but I can't read that. And I'm not totally sure exactly the kind of content they're consistently covering. Those would be my very surface level notes.
Let's go to the about section here. See if we can. Okay, Blue Sky Video Productions. Okay, so I guess that's the name maybe of a company.
Okay.
I guess from the random man on the street, which is us, or random woman on the street, do we care what they're called, or will we care much more about the value that they're going to provide, which seems to be business content? I feel as if a channel, renaming a channel might be one place to start.
That could be helpful for sure. Just improving the clarity of what someone gets from watching this content.
And then the next question I'm going to ask, and this is probably going to be a tough one. These people here, are these very well-known, highly regarded people in the space of business, or are they more people like just guess on the on the live stream on the program? Ben, don't take this the wrong way, but if we were to put Ben on the thumbnail of this channel Audit live stream, do you think that's going to bring in tons more viewers because, oh man, it's Ben? Or
No.
do you think the value that we're going to provide, Ben included, along with all of us, is more valuable, which is channel audits and advice to grow your channel? And I would
100%.
say the latter. So, when you're talking here, Ben, about how Facebook changes will affect your business, I think a much more effective thumbnail would simply be like the huge Facebook logo, maybe, or something that's kind of merging into the metaverse one with a huge $ next to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then a question mark. That would feel like it's much more impactful, rather than, as you say, the guest, Tammy Walsh. Are people very familiar with this person? I don't know. I'm asking the question.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And I think the constant question I ask myself is, why does my audience care? And I think you can keep asking that with every aspect of the video. And then even for your existing audience, why do they subscribe to you? And that should still come through with the presentation and then the actual content itself.
Going back to that video, what kind of business? I mean, is it a Facebook store?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, is it, I think you could have been more specific, to try and target, again, a more specific audience. Maybe any business could benefit from it, but is there one in particular that, because of some changes coming up, is really going to be affected? Like if you have a storefront on Facebook, now it's going to be twice as hard to use or twice as easy to use. Or if you have a brick and mortar and you have a Facebook page for it, like if some changes made it really hard to find in search, you know what I mean? Like really get down to the nuts and bolts of the issue.
And then the next thing is, once I found out whether Facebook changes are going to affect my business, am I looking forward to Luther Vandross singing Superstar?
So a lot of people actually watch that video.
Yeah, so I'm really thrown here. I'm now starting to think that this is
a video
bit of a
production
repository for the production companies to put their videos on their channel. And just when you mention a popular name, it's going to be found through search.
If that's the case, then I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's hard to grow a channel like that.
Nope.
Ben did have to leave. He did warn us in the background. I was hoping we could give him a proper send off, but he had a hard out.
Whoops, daisy.
Oops. Well, let's bring up his channel here in a minute. But
I think he must have got really offended when I said, Ben, are we going to put you on the thumbnail? No. That's it. I'm out of here.
So yeah, there's nothing wrong with hosting your content on YouTube or anything like that. But I think now it makes a little more sense as to why they have the channel name they have. And maybe they're trying to be more specific and give business focused news, in which case this content that they have here might need to be on a separate channel, because now it's no longer relevant, because there's been a lot of business topics, it seems, lately: social media strategies, public relations, all these things. Yeah. So if you're still going to do this videography stuff, take highlights from the show. You must have a lot of good shots, a lot of good footage, and then use it to teach. Because that's why people watch videography channels. They want to get better at the craft themselves. So then take what you've shot and use it to teach an audience. Entirely different channel, but that's how I would repurpose that content.
What's probably happening here is that from the 900 subscribers, you probably may have 100, 150 who are half invested in whenever you put live music performances on the channel. I think maybe 5 or 10 subscribers may be interested in the business stuff. And then all of the rest of the subscribers are completely detached from the content that's on here. And just occasionally you'll get spiky views through search, like this Hallmark Star Trek mirror collection. That's probably just, I bet a lot of that traffic's just come through search, because it's kind of a very niche, unique thing and yours is happening to rank a little bit there.
Right.
So again, I think it is kind of going back to similar the channel that we talked about, the gaming walkthrough channel.
Yeah.
Currently, this is a channel that's not designed, to me at least, it's not designed to build an audience. It's designed to maybe showcase your production skills and maybe get business through clients. Again, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what the channel's intended to do. But in order to grow an organic community that's going to come back and watch your content on a regular basis, it's unfortunately not going to do that the way the content is pitched.
Yeah, correct. The one thing they do have in their corner is great production quality. I mean, being a production company. So you're ahead in that regard. It's usually the opposite for a lot of creators who start with a very focused thing. And then, they're here in the dark, doing their first vlog. So
let's go for a gaming channel this time. We're going to go for 205. This channel is called Lag Addicts. Let's see what they have to offer us.
I like the name.
If things were easy, would it be worth doing?
So off that value proposition, I feel like we're going to learn how to do some really cool stuff in a game or a certain type of game.
You're going to learn how to defeat Dark Souls without ever dying.
And I think we're also looking at a live streaming channel.
A mix. I feel
a mix.
4-minute video there.
So I saw Ark. I'm seeing Forza Horizon. What else? What other games can we pick out? Primal Fear. So I think this person is using YouTube to be a variety streamer.
Gaming live streamer. Yeah.
Yep.
Can we look at, okay, there's somebody who I feel like, I've been watching this channel recently. I might be a little biased because I really have been entertained by it. Their name is, let me look it up. I'm going to butcher it. Someone else can say something. Okay, it's called Josh Strife Hayes.
Josh. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then go to channels, because they have a few.
Oh, cool.
Very successful creator. Josh Strife
plays?
Maybe. I'm trying to, there's a specific type of video that they make I'm trying to pull up right now. And I think it's plays. No. Dang it. I'm sorry. I should have had this example loaded up. Says. I think it says.
This one.
Okay. Cool. Now, the reason I brought this creator up is because, thank you for finding that, Rob. The creator themselves, they play MMOs specifically. Okay. That's like their bread and butter, but they play a lot of different MMOs. And what you'll notice about these titles and the thumbnails is the thumbnails, they look like straight ripped from the live streams, right? So thumbnails are not great. The titles, though, are not about the game. They're about certain things that were said during the live stream. When you watch these, he's always talking exactly about what the title's about. So I work for my money, my take on cryptocurrency, things like that. So he's playing the game, but it's just background noise. Someone asked him a question in chat, and so he took that clip. Doesn't matter what the game is. It's focused on him and his opinion on something. And I thought that was such a cool way to be streaming and then repurpose your content for a totally, this is why it's on all separate channels too, by the way. It's totally different type of content that they're making while making another type of content. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that this creator that we were looking at should do this. I'm saying that it's a really good example of just to get you thinking about how you can be taking your live streaming content and repurposing it so that you can get more out of a 4-hour live stream.
This would be, for example, if you wanted to create a channel where, Viper asked me what I had IHOP and the new text on thumbnail Richter scale that we've invented. Those might be clips that you would take and put on a completely separate vidIQ memes channel. vidIQ dank memes are here or something like that. Now, I guess my question to you, Dan, here would be, well, hang on. These thumbnails are terrible, Dan, and these titles are rubbish. Why is this channel getting loads of views?
Well,
I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this.
They've built an audience elsewhere. They're on Twitch. They've already built themselves up. I don't want you to look at this and just replicate it because it's not going to work. But in watching this channel, I've learned a lot about how you can repurpose content. And when you stream for 3 or 4 hours, what you're not doing is making videos for 3 or 4 hours, short, easy to watch videos. So, and they're doing that too, as you can see. But I would imagine they're really optimizing their time. So while you're live streaming, it's good to take clips from that stream and repurpose it into content that you can then have become searchable on YouTube. So if you're playing Primal Fear, things are going to happen. So take a 2-minute thing of something amazing that happened. Make sure, again, you edit it to have context so someone who wasn't at the stream could understand what's happening in that video. But then now you have the searchable clip, and then you can play with the thumbnail and the title and try to make it this cool, searchable, fun moment.
Let's go back to this channel a little more in general. I can see that they experimented with Let's Play / walkthrough, and that clearly didn't work. The view counts were very, very low. So, going back to the channel that we looked at maybe 20 minutes ago, this channel decided that they were not getting views and an audience they wanted, so they pivoted. And I feel as if that's worked in the sense that now they are getting double digits in terms of views, 80 views, 73 views, 36 views, 130 views, which isn't too bad for a channel of under 50 subscribers. What do we suggest here? Should they continue to live stream a different game every single time? I think there's a good thing here in that they're making custom thumbnails for live streams, which is something that's not always done.
Right.
So there's pluses and minuses here.
What's the game that does the best for you and that you enjoy playing the most? And not even the game, the type of game. You can even just start there. I think that what you're going to find is that as you play Ark, it's going to appeal to an audience who likes survival games about building and crafting and dinosaurs in this case. But when you play Forza Horizon, that's a totally different audience. And that's what you need to wrestle with, because it's still you on this one channel. So that we were looking at that Josh Strife channel, and they play MMOs, and they'll play everything from RuneScape to Elder Scrolls. Like I'm a fan of only one of those games. You know what I mean? But at least I can kind of understand what's going on because it's still an MMO, and I know enough to keep up. And I like this person's personality. I like their opinions. And that was my other point. If you want to pivot to all these different games, start with one. Build yourself up as this personality first, and within one game, a popular game, but one game, build yourself up and get people to fall in love with the brand that is you. And then you have even more license later on to make that pivot into something else.
Final question to you, Viper. I think you've just got Forza Horizon 5. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is it more realistic than driving in the real world?
Not quite, but the photorealism is definitely on par. Like somebody might actually walk into the room when you're playing and think that they're watching an actual race on TV. Crazy.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Especially sometimes when we see thumbnails, from driving game these days. We can't tell whether it's from a video game or from the real world. I'm going to let you start with this one, Viper. We're looking at Serhar Sharma, and I think this is a music channel from what I can see.
Yeah, covers and originals. All right, so we got a singer here or some type of artist. Whew. Wow. Okay. Okay, so you're doing a cover for Olivia Rodrigo. So here's the harsh reality about YouTube for new creators. Nobody cares about you, right? I mean, I know this is harsh. I know some of y'all are like, oh my God, how can you say that, Viper? But think about it. When somebody comes into your channel and you're starting your YouTube journey, maybe you're like a month or 2 or 3 months into it, no one knows you. So they don't care about you. So the goal then becomes to give people that don't know you from a can of paint a reason to click on your video. So for this creator in particular, if she's doing a cover of Olivia Rodrigo, maybe replace having you in the thumbnail and put Olivia in the thumbnail because people will know who Olivia is, and then that will bring more attention to your video. And maybe try doing that for most of your covers. Instead of putting you in the thumbnail, put the actual artist in the thumbnail that you're doing the cover for, because that will attract more people to actually click on the video. Because if they're just seeing your face and they don't know you, they're not going to click on the video. They might not click on the video, but you would have a better chance if you put the actual artist on the thumbnail, in my opinion.
So usually I would agree with you, and I don't necessarily disagree with you, but just looking at the size of a channel, which is about 600 subscribers, and the view counts, which are remarkably consistent for a music cover channel, which is between 300 and 500 views, generally speaking, I'm actually starting to think that there is some association with the creator here and the artist. So I think maybe Viper, this channel should maybe experiment with putting the actual artist on the thumbnail. But I'm just wondering if when these regular viewers don't see the hero of a channel on the thumbnails, that they may not actually realize it's another one of her videos. That's just my thought, and it's very specific to this channel, because usually I would completely agree with you, but I'm just seeing a nice level of consistency here in the output of a content.
And I agree with you, Rob, but how often do we tell people, especially on vidIQ, that you shouldn't be targeting your video for your subscribers? You should be targeting for people that don't know who you are and who have never seen your content.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think that the creator should experiment and then really look at the data. And this could be like something where you almost put on your thumbnail of the artist for like maybe the first few hours, like for 3 hours, then switch it to you. And then on the next video, you start the video with you as a thumbnail and then switch it over after 3 hours. And then you can test almost like the click-through rate. But then the music and the genre probably has to be quite similar as well to make sure it's a fair test between similar types of content. Right. Dan, can you be the arbiter here? What do you reckon?
Well, you could do both. You could put you on one side and the artist.
I'm about to say that. Yep.
Covering.
Yeah, that is the other approach. Yeah, absolutely.
Test all of them though. I mean, test all the different strategies. Good tip on changing your thumbnail just throughout the day too. You can totally do that. It doesn't hurt anything. In fact, you get some really interesting metrics. Sometimes if you notice your video's underperforming, this is just general YouTube advice now. If you notice your video's underperforming in the first few hours, and you kind of look at it, you think, oh, you know what? Maybe a better thumbnail. Just make it and put it up. Like just try it, because I've rescued videos that way. So yeah. What I was gonna say about this channel that they're doing right is, I think if you like Ed Sheeran, you probably like Adele, you probably like Taylor Swift. I think they're covering songs that would have a lot of crossover within in terms of the fans.
I wanted to try and sort by most popular to see if there was a particular artist that works well, but for some weird reason, I don't know if this is because it's a music channel, I can't sort by most popular.
Oh,
if the option is just not there.
That is really strange. Yeah. I wonder if that's a bug. I've never seen that happen, but yeah, it is a music channel. They have a little icon.
Community tab to start using that as well. Yeah, I guess what I'm encouraged here by is that ultimately all creators want to make themselves like the brand of a content, you know, especially when it comes to music and covers, like so they can identify themselves. And I already feel as if the creator has got that presence as an artist herself, which I think is really, really encouraging.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you guys a quote that Graham Stephan apparently said at VidSummit. Graham Stephan says that if a video doesn't get X amount of views in the first minute, then it's a title problem. If it doesn't get a certain number within the first 15 minutes, it's usually a thumbnail issue. So do with that information what you want.
I get where they're coming from. I've been testing something on my own. Now we're just into a totally separate conversation. I'm sorry, Rob. I've been testing something on my own where because I've had a few videos now where I've panicked and changed the thumbnail in the first few minutes, right? Because like 15 minutes goes by and the video's just not doing what I want it to do. And I've panicked, changed the thumbnail. I've gone through one video recently. I did 4 different thumbnails. Like this was about a month ago, and nothing was working. But lately, I've just not had time for that crap. So what I've been doing is I've been putting the video up.
That needs to be a t-shirt. Dan,
Yes.
we need to get this as merch. Dan, I have not got time for this crap.
Yes.
I love it.
So what I've been doing is putting the video up and watching it perform, and going, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I'll change this later, but I'm just going to leave it for now. And I've had this happen 2 times in the last, I would say 7 days, where it starts off just under or at the, the gray line and then goes, whoop, it just straight up. It's happened a couple times now. And so if I had done that advice, 15 minutes, then change the thumbnail, I wouldn't have seen that. It took about 20 to 40 minutes for that to happen. And it took that attitude of I don't give a crap. I'm just going to leave it for that to happen. So just, I would say, give it maybe in certain cases a little more time, because I don't know. I'm not going to be panic changing my thumbnails anymore.
Now we're completely off topic. Fun little fact here. This video that I launched on Monday, it was the first time that I decided, you know what, I'm really going to pay attention to the thumbnail. I'm going to create like 7 or 8 different designs. So I did. I've got like 8 different thumbnails for this video, but then it did brilliant. So I just haven't touched it. So I've wasted all of this time creating all these different thumbnails. And I thought, yeah, click-through rates massively above normal. I ain't touching this bad boy.
That's right. If it ain't broke, don't break it, baby.
Do you guys ever have a thing happen where you put out a video, you've thought a lot about the title and thumbnail, you put it out and it does poorly, and then that's when it hits you what you could have done better?
All the time, yeah. All the time.
That happens to me so often where until I see the performance, I can't, and I have the benefit of hindsight, I can't tell what's wrong. But it's clear as day sometimes when it does flop.
Or somebody posts a comment and then it suddenly triggers another approach in my head, like, oh, yeah, that's a good question. Maybe I should have done the thumbnail and title like that. It's a YouTuber's life. It's a YouTuber's life. So yeah, Seha Sharma, I think you're onto a good successful channel here. I guess one thing I maybe might suggest, if you were looking for different forms of content as an experiment, is maybe like from the very popular parts of the music, be it the chorus or lyrics, you could practice with shorts, like 15 to 20-second clips, just as an experiment. Maybe as a second channel. That might be something to approach it, because Dan's been talking about repurposing content. Seha Shorts. There you go. I've already made the channel name for you. Do you have any second channels? You see, you're experimenting with other channels as well, which is good to see. What time is it? We spent a little while there going into detail. We'll pick out a gaming channel now. Channel 98. Let's see what we have. We are looking at Rockman Slayer 00, who is either a Mega Man channel or whatever all of his stuff is on the left-hand side. I'm not familiar with that game. Looks a little bit like the Moomins, if anyone remembers the Moomins.
I don't know what that is. Let's see. What's that VR one in the sort of to the right on the top row? VR smoking something. Can you put your cursor on it and see if what comes? Okay. So it does. I was gonna say,
Beatmania game.
Does the title or does the thumbnail match what the heck's happening? I guess it does. I wish I knew more about these games. I maybe these are similar games in a similar genre, but they don't look similar.
Yeah, it's like. So I'm going to draw. What is the through line of all of these videos because just instinctively, immediately we can't see it. And maybe due to the thumbnails and how they seem to be screenshots with a part number just slapped across it.
Mhm.
Yeah. I know.
Or, the titles that just, again, the titles feel difficult to decode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and the thing that Dan always talked about with the whole part number thing, like when you are making videos in different parts and somebody coming to the channel and they see all these different part numbers, it then becomes a daunting task. They feel like they have a lot of catching up to do and maybe they don't want to do that. And
I think this is somebody who is really excited about the idea of creating videos, gaming videos. But what they need to do is sit down, and any channel can benefit from this, but especially if you've never done this before, sit down and try and determine who your target audience is. We talked to Liron during the 1 million subscriber stream the other day, and he laid this out well. We've talked to Ed over at Film Booth. They talk about this a lot. Tube Talk, we talked to Christina Smallhorn, who went in detail about building a persona. But what you want to do, what this means is you want to take a person, right? Give them a name, and literally figure out, like, what does this person like? What gets them to click on videos? Because that's what you're doing. You're making videos for a specific audience. And right now, this channel feels really scattershot. It just feels like you're just kind of playing games and putting it out there and just trying stuff. But with the titles and the thumbnails, especially the later ones, we don't know what this channel is or who it's for.
The titles need to do more work.
Yeah.
They feel like file names. Mega Man, Star Fox, DX Part 5, Amakin.
okay, I have a question.
Doesn't tell us why we should click. It tells us the what, but it doesn't tell us the why.
Right. I have a question for Dan. So we've seen a couple of channels now, Dan, where they are doing these playthroughs and they have different part numbers, to signify the order of the series and whatever. And I've heard you say time and time again that the whole part number thing is just not a good idea.
Right.
Well, my question to you, Dan, if a creator wants to make a series of videos like that where they would normally put part numbers in, what is a good alternative to the part number way that they're doing it now?
Sure. So the few things you could do, I wouldn't put it in the thumbnail because it's basically inviting people not to click on the video if they're new. If you're going to put it in the title, very last thing in the title, if it goes in there at all. But again, my concern with part numbers is that you're trying to appeal to a new audience. By the time you get to part 30, how inviting is that video really? And is part 30 that relevant? Where I would put this is in the description, and I would make a playlist, and I make sure the playlist is in the correct order from starting from 1 going all the way to present. And those are the two places where that needs to be. So your description, I would make the first line something relevant to the content, and then you could in parentheses, part 10. Like, it could go in there. You will build a loyal audience, and if you're doing an episodic series and it does kind of matter what happened in the previous one, then yeah, you want it somewhere. Give them a reference point, but the description, especially on that top line where it's not truncated, it can definitely go in there. And I think the other thing you need to keep in mind, if you get rid of the part numbers, it kind of forces you to think, wow, I need to make sure I make this video for somebody who's never been to my channel before as well. So give context, go into that intro and say, here's what we're doing today. Because in the last one, this happened. Don't spend too much time on that, but make sure that feels inviting to the audience. Somebody brand new is like, okay, got it. This has been going on for a while, but it sounds like I can just pick this up right now at episode 10. I don't need to watch all the other ones.
It is funny how you tend to see this concept of part numbers in gaming more than any other video topic. I mean,
yeah.
Let's just put it into your realm for a second, Viper. Let's say somebody's going to review the new, they're going to go really in depth. And I know some of channels do this. They go really in depth about reviewing a product. For example, let's take the MacBook Pro M1 Max or whatever that's just been released. You wouldn't do a review in terms of a review of a MacBook Pro part 1, part 2, part 3. You'd focus on the different aspects. It might be the first one is the unboxing experience. That's the really exciting part of it. The next part is booting it up for the first time. The next part is reviewing the keyboard and how it's changed because the touch bar's been removed. The next part is, why is that notch on the screen and does it really impact my usage? These are all effectively different parts of a journey through reviewing a product, but you would never tell people that it's different parts. You would focus on the very specific thing that's important for that video. But it just seems that gamers default to part numbers because it's their way of telling the story, very functionally telling the story of what they're playing in a video game.
Well, the common way to do this is to take a game, and we saw it with the Resident Evil channel we looked at earlier, just take a game and just play it from front to back. And that kind of walkthrough content's also not really engaging, especially like to a new viewer who doesn't know you from Adam. So I think that's where it comes from. It's just it does matter having part numbers if you're going to be playing through a story-driven game. But what you got to ask yourself is, are people looking to watch somebody play through this story-driven game, or are they just looking for cool moments from it?
All right, then. We are looking at Journey. We're looking at this channel.
However you pronounce that channel name, that banner needs to change immediately. Come on, just subscribe. No. You need a value proposition. You can't just tell people just subscribe. Why? Why should I subscribe to you? Like your little doughy face is not going to make me subscribe to the channel. I'm sorry. You got to do better than that.
Come on, Viper, just subscribe. Come on.
But come on.
Come on. So the channel has 25 subscribers. They've been on YouTube for 3 months, and I'm getting a bit of a jonk vibe here, where they're doing animation of some kind, and the animation itself is maybe a little intentionally crude. I'm going to phrase it. There's nothing wrong with that, and if that's a story you want to tell. And is it how this animated character is interacting with different video games? That would be my guess.
I like the idea they're answering questions from YouTube titles. That's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to just let one play to try and get an idea of the contents, if my internet will allow it, which it won't.
Hey Rob, try changing the resolution on the video.
Yeah, it just doesn't cut it. It's whenever I'm streaming on StreamYard. Although you seem to have fixed it. I guarantee you it doesn't often do this. So my guess is that they're playing a video game and they're doing a voiceover, and this little character is appearing here, there, and everywhere to do commentary or on the game, depending on the title of the video. It doesn't seem like a bad idea as a different approach to gaming. I can see merit there.
That's a pretty interesting concept. I'm trying to figure out. I think one thing that this creator benefit from is, simply put, is more content. They've been at it for a few months, small handful of videos. We know auditing channels like this can be really, really tough when the creator themselves is still trying to kind of figure out what it is they're doing, you know? It looks like the animation styles changed dramatically since, just based on the new thumbnail.
Also, tying it into something a little more popular and trending may help. I know Dogecoins was something that was more popular in the summer. And I feel as if this was maybe some sort of, not tying to it, but riffing off of the same idea. But we're 3 or 4 months down the line now. You know, Ubisoft is the worst. How could you maybe tie that into like a recent news story around Ubisoft, if there was one? I know Blizzard and Activision are going through some pretty controversial stuff right now. Maybe that would have been a more potentially trending, popular type of news topic to hijack a little bit.
I do like,
and it's a gaming season. We've got tons of games coming out right now. If this is connected to gaming, because I'm seeing PlanetSide, I'm seeing Ubisoft. I don't know how much these 2 videos link to gaming.
Yeah, like you said, they're just starting out there. I think they're in the chat and they're saying that they're just trying to figure out what to do, which is normal. And I like the thumbnail, so keep good work on the thumbnails.
Thumbnails are of a good standard, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think this comes down to, again, finding the audience that you're trying to target. And if it's just you talking about the world, then you got to stay in touch with the trending topics. And as Rob said, you know, talk about. Sorry,
go ahead.
Talk about news stories. I was just kind of ripping off what you were saying.
the way John successfully did this is when he tied in some Stickman commentary to a KSI. I think the boxing match KSI had, and that sent his channel into the stratosphere. You know, it increased his viewership by thousands of % with just a single video. And hopefully, with the way you create your content and how you can cover different topics, hopefully fairly rapidly, you may be able to do something similar. But as I agree with Viper, very first steps on YouTube, and there's already some positive signs. You know, you had one video here with 400 views. Thumbnails are of a good standard. Looks as if your editing is of a certain quality as well already from 10 videos on the channel, which is good to see.
Yeah.
And with that, we're at the top of the hour once again, and it's time to conclude Channel Audits for one more week. But we will be back as always tomorrow. Dan, I believe you and I are on duty, and we are going to be talking about.
We're going to be showing you more of our tools, vidIQ, specifically though, using them to help you grow your channels. If you have questions about getting your first X many subscribers, maybe it's your first 10, maybe it's your first 1,000, come on by tomorrow. We're going to be answering your questions and showing you some tools we have that can help you along the way.
It is time to say your goodbyes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We will shout them out, such as Manticores is telling us all to keep up the grind. The grind is oh so very real. And an ACT, bye to you. Unfortunately, Kelly Campbell, we are saying goodbye, but you are saying hi to Dan. Nothing wrong with that. And last but not least from me, Smart Baseball, goodbye. And since you can control the chat, I can just throw it over to Dan and Viper to pick out their own. Cheerio.
Zanziris, thank you for moderating as always. Thank you to all of our moderators, and goodbye to you. We have, let's see here, Joe's Phenomenal. We'll see you later. We got 4 Reels with a Z, or maybe it's 4 Reels Z, one or the other. See you later. And I'll say goodbye to Mr. Gaming 800. Catch you later.
All right, I guess I'll leave Viper here. So, where'd he go? Goodbye to Little Branch Crossing. Appreciate you being here. We got Digitally Grow. Goodbye to you. Goodbye to Calvin. Always see you in here, Calvin. Who else? We got goodbye to Kelly Campbell again. Appreciate you being here. we got Deaf Dog. Funny Moment. Goodbye to you. And last but not least, goodbye to Draw with Dough.
Also, thanks to Ben Levitt for joining us today.
Yeah.
Thanks to Ben. Thanks to Ben, of course. We hardly knew you because I didn't see the message and he just left. But we do appreciate him. Yeah, one more time. That is his channel if you want to check it out.
It's linked down below.
See you all. What was that?
It's linked down below.
And it's linked down below. Yeah. We'll see you all tomorrow.